What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time seeing this, welcome. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. Right now we're going to talk about Night of Champions. Overall, I believe it was a good show. Opening up, we had the King of the Ring final, Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes. I liked this match. I thought it was good. The best parts about it were the fact that Orton sold the back injury, and he also sold the inner battle that he was having. Being the old Randy and the new Randy, just you see him fighting with himself. Overall, the match was pretty good. Again, good storytelling, selling the back the whole way through. And then, doing some old cheap heat heel stuff during it. It was a pretty solid match. Didn't like the fact that Cody won. I wish that Orton would have came out with the win so we could get him and Cena one more time. If I'm being honest, I'm getting a little sick of Cody Rhodes. I don't know how everybody else feels about it, but you can put your opinion down there in the comments and tell me what you think, because you might see it different than I do. Cody's just, I don't know. It is what it is with him, and it's just kind of getting old. We need something new, something fresh. I had the idea a while ago that if Orton were to win the title off Cena, then we could get some new, fresh feuds going on with him. Like Karrion Kross would be a good one. Yeah, but that didn't work out that way. So apparently we're going to get Cena and Cody again at SummerSlam. And I hope Cena goes over, because Cody's title reign was, got a little boring. Anyway, so that brings me to Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez match. That was a street fight. Great street fight. I enjoyed that match. It was probably one of my favorite matches of the night. Even though there was interference, it didn't really matter. They beat the crap out of each other, and it was solid. I give that was a solid match. I enjoyed it all the way through. I'm glad Rhea went over. So we'll see if she's gonna keep feuding with the Judgment Day, or if they're gonna do something else with her. I think she's kind of in limbo right now, because they haven't really put her in anything meaningful, in my opinion. So hopefully that changes for Rhea, and then get her back to where she should be. The next thing I want to talk about is the Karrion Kross Sami Zayn match, which was an awesome match. I'm trying to start this hashtag right now, hashtag push Kross, because I think Karrion Kross is a good talent, and I think that he should be pushed. You see him doing backstage segments and stuff like that, and then he came out with the Authors of Pain, and that didn't go over well, and now he's just been kind of in limbo, and they haven't been using him. So anybody out there who's likes Karrion Kross, is a wrestling fan, hopefully you just keep sharing that hashtag push Kross, and we'll see what happens with it. Hopefully they'll do something with him. I wanted him to go over tonight on Sami, but I wasn't disappointed that Sami won. Overall, it was a great match, and I hope that Karrion Kross gets a really good push after this. The United States title match, Solo versus Jacob, was a good match until all the interference started happening. And then the interference started happening, and they ended up, putting Solo over, which I don't agree with. They should have made it a DQ so they could build up something, because they introduced, they brought Tongaloa back, and then his little brother, or whoever that was, came out and, did what he did to Jacob Fatu, giving Solo the win. That should have just been a DQ or something, and just built it over, with the new bloodline, basically, the new guys that Solo brought in. But they didn't, and, that was kind of disappointing, because, Jacob is pretty over, and, taking the title away from him, it's kind of like when they took the title from Gunther and put it on Jey Uso, it just didn't seem like it should have gone down that way or happened that way, and I just, I'm not a fan of that. So, Jade versus Asuka, it was okay. I'll just say that it was an okay match. Asuka should have went over because Io Sky versus Asuka at SummerSlam would have been off the hook, and but it seems like that they're building Jade and Naomi still, and like that feud just doesn't seem to be over at all. It's like, who cares? I'd rather see Asuka and Io go at it because they're former Damage Control and all that, and I think the two styles will just be way better, way more crisp. Like the in-ring style, it'd just be more entertaining to watch. Just be a better match overall. Jade, she should still be in AEW as far as I'm concerned. She's not. I don't like her that much. She's not that great in my opinion. And then after that, John Cena versus CM Punk was a great match. A lot of old school stuff going on in that match. Just from a wrestling standpoint. And then, until Seth Rollins and his fake evolution came out. And then Penta comes out and, just all these, all this interference started happening and just kind of took away from the match. And I think this whole Seth Rollins build is just terrible. I just don't believe Seth should be doing what he's doing right now. I mean, to me, he's a mid-carder, straight up. Like, when the Shield was around, to me, he wasn't even the best part of the Shield. So, but they've built him up, and, he's beat Triple H, and he's beat, Brock Lesnar, and he's the King Slayer and the Beast Slayer and all this stuff, but he just hasn't lived up to any of that. And, he was losing matches for a while, and now he's, getting this huge push for whatever reason. I just don't see it as a good thing. But I'm glad Cena retained, and I'm glad that he went over. And I hope he keeps going over. I hope he goes over Cody at SummerSlam. Just because he's the greatest of all time. Like, in reality, he carried the company for so long and, kept a big fan base. He should be able to retire on his terms. So, until we get somebody else, to fill those shoes, which probably will never happen, and Seth Rollins to me isn't the guy to do it. So, the fact that he won Money in the Bank was kind of disappointing. Now that they're doing all this stuff with Paul Heyman and stuff like that, yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to go on about Seth Rollins anymore, just because it's just that kind of issue, right? So, otherwise, I give this PLE probably like I don't know, 3.5, 4. It was pretty good. The matches were pretty good. Lots of interference in some matches, but, what do you expect? Anyway, I will see you guys again on Monday night after Raw. Be sure you like and subscribe, and peace.
I go, my dog, I'm right here.